Hi, I hope every one of you are doing well. This time I just want to share some few thoughts to you so that we could encourage each other. You see, sometimes life brings us in a place that we don't understand what to do next in our life. And nothing in our life makes sense because you thought of something else, but it turns out to be another thing in your life. You look up to somebody and you are counting on that person, but at the end of the day, that person that you are counting on, that you are looking on, fails you, and you are totally discouraged. Because a lot of us write the story about our future, which we haven't experienced yet, and fill them with fear instead of faith. A lot of us write story about what is gonna happen in our life, but we write in such a way that we write in a genre called horror. So when we write our life story in a genre called horror, we write in such a way like, oh, what's gonna happen to my life? Am I gonna make it? What's going to happen next in my life? How am I going to end up in my life? What does tomorrow hold for me? So these are the things that keeps on coming in our life. But one thing that I want to tell you is like, all you need to do is just calm down. All you need to do is just calm down for a second and stop writing those stories up in your head. Stop the story for a second. But if you want to continue to write a story, write in faith. Because the Bible says that God is for us and He's not against us. See, when a car gets punctured or when a car tire gets flat, it is not something to panic and stop doing nothing. But we always remember that there's always a spare tire to replace it. What I want to tell you is that it may be a flat tire in your life, but remember, it may be a flat tire which might be preventing you from an accident in your life. See, God is going to do stuff right now in the place you know nothing about it. God is putting you in the minds of some people who are not even aware of you. For example, we see from Acts chapter 10. We never knew, Acts chapter 10. Cornelius was never aware of Peter. But God put Peter in his mind. Peter was never aware of Cornelius, but God put Cornelius in his mind. And at the end of the day, they were blessed. Peter shared the gospel to Cornelius, and the both were blessed together. See, it's very simple. It's very true. You might not know what the goal is for your life out there in this world, but God does. The Bible says that God says in the Bible that I know the plans I have for you, not to harm you, not to destroy you, but the Bible says He has a plans to prosper you. That's His promise. You don't get to choose every situation in your life. But one thing you get to do is you get to choose your story. It's very true. I didn't choose that person in my life to hurt me, to break my heart. I didn't choose that failure to come in my life. I didn't choose those hurts. I didn't choose those loneliness in my life. I didn't choose those sickness to be in my life. I didn't choose that depression to be in my life. I didn't choose my father or my mother to walk out from my life. I didn't choose those troubles to be in my life. But don't get mad with God. Don't get mad at God. But tell God how you really feel about it. Because at some point of your life, you might tell about your story to someone else whom you know. So how about, instead of telling to that someone else, why don't you tell to God? So it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't destroy you. Tell God about your troubles. Tell God about your fears. Tell God about your insecurities. Tell God about the things which you can't understand in life. And give space to God so that He could explain it to you. See, there are so many people out there who put a lot of negativity into your mind. Who put a lot of negativity into your heart. The devil is always trying to put fears into your life. But one thing I want to tell you and I want to encourage you is, tell the devil, tell those negativity out there in the world that it's not your story, but it's my story. You don't tell to the negativity out in the world that you don't have to understand my praise because you don't know my story. You don't need to understand my story. You don't need to understand my praise because you don't know what Jesus did for me. You don't have to understand my praise. You don't have to understand my worship because you don't know how Jesus rescued me. Tell to the negativity, tell to the devil that you don't understand how God made a way for me when there was no way out there. Tell to the negativity out to the world. Because that's not your story. This is your story. Your story is God's story. Your story is a redemption story. Your story is a resurrection story. Tell to the world, you don't have to understand my story. Because my story is a redemption story. So I want to encourage you. Don't write up all those stories in your head that's troubling you, that's hurting you. Write your stories in faith. Yes, you haven't seen it yet. Yes, you haven't experienced it yet. Write in faith. Because God said, I have a plan for you. Not to destroy you, not to harm you, but to prosper you. Because God's story for you is a story of redemption. God's story for you is a story of resurrection. God bless you.